Hello and welcome to Let's Have a Go. Thank you for joining me. Sorry it's been a little while since the last video. My schedule during lockdown has been actually quite busy. Lots of different projects to take on and to explore. If I'd known that sourdough starter was going to take up as much of my life as it had done, I would never have started it. But we find ourselves in this situation with a new video. And this time it's on the subject of coffee. Now coffee is very close to my heart. I like to try lots of different specialty coffees. And I was thinking, well, what's the furthest back we can go in the coffee making process that we can actually achieve at home? Well, I can tell you that I've tried to go as far back as you can go by growing your own coffee. This is my little coffee plant that I have at home. It's a great little house plant, nice and green and vibrant, but after a few years, it hasn't given me any coffee beans yet, and I'm doubting that it ever will. So my thoughts turned to the next part in the process, roasting the beans once you have them. That's what we're going to explore in this video. And we're going to have a look at a technique that I've seen on quite a few different YouTube videos and see if it is achievable at home. Now this is the first time I tried it, so this is a let's have a go video, and at the end we'll see what I've learned and maybe what we can improve. So let's have a go at coffee roasting. Firstly, let's just talk about the coffee I used. This is specialty coffee, a blend called the Blake Blend from Has Been Coffee. I was very kindly gifted this coffee and I got some green unroasted and also some roasted as well, so that I could see what I was aiming for. If you try roasting your own coffee, I would recommend you get a good quality coffee, because you're simply going to get better tasting coffee as a result. So I want to make this into this, immediately regretting my decision to throw those together now. How will I achieve this? By using a popcorn maker, of course. This little beast has been my wife's since we got married 6 years ago. Now I was under the instruction that if I break it, I replace it. And in anticipation of that, I now know you can pick one up for around 20 to 30 pounds on Amazon. I added in 2 scoops. If you don't have enough beans, it can move around too much and heat up too quickly, and it can go from done to dark or even burnt very quickly without you being able to do anything about it. And then I just switched it on and away we went. Now there was a lot of movement, so I was a little worried. After about a minute, the little protective skin of the bean started flying off, and that is called chaff. Now for me this was a surprising amount of chaff. I'm still finding bits of it around the kitchen days after roasting it. Around 3 minutes in, I started hearing little pops like, well, popcorn. And this is entirely expected. It is the beans cracking open as the gases inside expand. This signals it's almost complete. You should expect the first round of these pops and cracks, and then when you hit the second round, it's really done. I never heard the second round of cracks. It kind of sounded continuous, so I just calculated it by eye. I'm very glad I got the roasted bag of coffee so that I had a reference to go on. Once poured out, the colander serves as a good way to get air through the beans and cool them down. Then it was a matter of separating out the chaff and comparing it to the professionally roasted coffee. I mean, personally, I think I haven't done too badly. Perhaps I went a little darker on the roast, but not miles out. Before I tasted it, I had to put the beans through a process of degassing, which I thought was only what I had to do after a heavy meal. Essentially, you just need to put it in an airtight bag and leave it for at least 24 hours to let all the volatile gases escape. Now to try the coffee. I ground it all up, but I forgot to change the settings, so I ended up with fairly fine coffee. As a result of this, I decided to use the mocha pot. In hindsight, it's probably not the best method to use to really understand the flavour and get a good taste of it. And the coffee was probably a bit too fine for this method as well, but I didn't want to waste the coffee that I just roasted at this point. To be honest, the first cup was quite acidic. Actually, it was too acidic really. However, I did continue to taste the coffee through the week, and it did get better and better as more of the gases escaped. It was really truly delicious at day 4. Honestly, that went a lot better than I expected. I'm going to chalk that up as a success. I got coffee at the end of it, I didn't destroy the popcorn maker, and I had fun. I definitely recommend other people giving this a try. If anything, you can make yourself look more impressive at parties. So what things can I possibly improve on? Number 1, understanding the second round of pops and cracks. I definitely heard the right sounds. I heard the popping and the cracking, much like the sound of popcorn. However, it sounded like one long section rather than 2 distinct sections. I want to know if maybe I can separate that out even more. Is there a way that I can do that so that I can distinguish the first round and the second round? Because once it gets to the second round, I know that it is near to being done, and I may get a better result as a result of that. Number 2, better regulate the temperature. While roasting the coffee, everything got very hot, and that's to be expected. We're roasting with heat. However, it got really hot. I mean, so much so that the lid of the popcorn maker actually started to melt. I mean, it was already melted a little bit, so it wasn't a complete disaster and a complete loss of the popcorn maker. There might be popcorn makers out there that allow you to regulate the temperature for all I know, and that might be worth exploring more so that I can just have a bit more control over the temperature and use that temperature maybe even within the roasting process. Number 3 is be more patient. This is a simple one, but leaving that coffee to degas for more than just a couple of days really made the results even much better. I mean, as I was going through the days, it tasted better and better. So really simply, I just need to be patient and not drink the coffee as quickly as I've roasted it. However, in my defense, this was the first time that I had roasted coffee. I was pretty excited. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you did, like and subscribe. 1 or 2 clicks lets me know that you enjoyed that video, and also I've got some other projects and things lined up in the future that I think you're going to find cool. And I would love to hear if you're considering giving this a go yourself after watching this video, or maybe if you've even tried it once before already and what your results were like. I love reading your comments, so leave a comment below. Until then, keep safe and well. I'll catch you on the next episode of Let's Have a Go. Right, I've got a sourdough starter to go and feed. Off I go.